Okay, starting at line 1070, one of the Viking poets sings a song about Finn and Hnaf and Hildebert. Hildebert is a woman who is the sister of Hnaf. Hnaf is the king of the Danes, and like any good sister, she marries another tribe's a member from another tribe. She's married to Finn, king of the Frisians, and that's supposed to create an alliance or a powerful bond between the two tribes. But it doesn't go so well. Hildebert had little cause to credit the Jutes. Son and brother, she lost them both on the battlefield. She, bereft and blameless, they foredoomed, cut down, and she, the woman in shock, waylaid by grief, Hawk's daughter. How could she not lament her fate when morning came and the light broke on her murdered dears? And so farewell delight on earth. War carried away Finn's troop of thanes, all but a few. How then could Finn hold the line or fight to the end with Hengist? How save the rump of his force from that enemy chief? So a truce was offered as follows. First, separate quarters to be cleared for the Danes, hall and throne to be shared with the Frisians. Then second, every day at the dole out of gifts. Finn, son of Fockwald, should honor the Danes, bestow with an even hand to Hengist, and Hengist's men the wrought gold rings, bounty to match the measure he gave his own Frisians. To keep morale in the beer hall high, both sides then sealed their agreement. With oaths to Hengist, Finn swore openly, solemnly, that the battle survivors would be guaranteed honor and status. No infringement by word or deed. No provocation would be permitted. Their own ring-giver, after all, was dead and gone. They were leaderless in forced allegiance to his murderer. So if any Frisian stirred up bad blood with insinuations or taunts about this, the blade of the sword will arbitrate it. Alright, so here's what I just read. Alright, Finn, even though he's married into the family of Hnaf by marrying his sister Hildebert, attacked Hnaf and not only killed his wife's brother, but also killed her son from a previous relationship. And after the battle was over, Finn couldn't fight anymore with his army. And Hengist, the highest remaining Danish soldier, also could not fight. So they agreed to a truce. They would have peace, and they would even live in the same house but in different parts of it. And they would even share the wealth. And Hengist had no choice. He didn't like Finn because he just killed his king, but he didn't have any choice. So they agreed to not fight. And then there's a funeral pyre. And you know, Vikings love funeral pyres. A funeral pyre was then prepared, effulgent gold brought out from the hoard. The pride and prince of the Shieldings lay awaiting the flame. Everywhere there were blood-splattered coats of mail. The pyre was heaped with boar-shaped helmets forged in gold, with the gashed corpses of well-born Danes. Many had fallen. Then Hildebert ordered her own son's body be burnt with Hnaf's, the flesh of his bones to sputter and blaze beside his uncle's. The woman wailed and sang keens. The warrior went up, carcass flames swirled and fumed. They stood round the burial mound and howled as heads melted, crusted gashes spattered, and ran bloody matter. Then glutton element flamed and consumed the dead of both sides. Their great days were gone, warriors scattered to homes and forts all over Friesland. Fewer now, feeling loss of friends. Hengist stayed, lived out that whole resentful, blood-sullen winter with Finn, homesick and helpless. No ring-whirled prow could up then and away on the sea. Wind and water raged with storms, wave and shingle were shackled on ice, until another year appeared in the yard, as it does to this day. The seasons constant, the wonder of light is. It's winter, and the seas are stormy and icy, So it's unrealistic for Hengist to leave, even though he hates Finn. So he waits all winter, waiting for his chance for revenge. And it finally comes when the spring comes. Then winter was gone, earth's lap grew lovely. Longing woke in the cooped-up exile for a voyage home, but more for vengeance, some say of bringing things to a head. His sword arm hankered to greet the Jutes, so he did not balk once Hunlafing, who's another Danish warrior, placed on his lap Dazzle the Duel, the best sword of all, whose edges Jutes knew only too well. So the plan is that when Hunlafing gives Hengist the sword named Dazzle the Duel, that's when they will attack the Frisians. Alright. Thus blood was spilled, the gallant Finn slain in his home, after Guthlaf and Oslaf back from their voyage made old accusation. The brutal ambush, the fate they had suffered, all blamed on Finn. The wildness in them had to brim over. The hall ran red with enemy blood. Finn was cut down, the queen brought away, and everything the shieldings could find inside Finn's walls, the Frisian king's gold collars and gemstones, swept off to the ship. Over sea lanes then, back to Daneland, the warrior troop bore that lady home. So, I don't know about you, but this kind of reminds me of George R.R. Martin's The Game of Thrones. Like, I can just see the moment when Hengist waits, all winter long, and then finally the moment where he can get his revenge happens. And so he plans everything perfectly. They'll be eating in the dining hall, and then the signal is given, and all the Danes lock all the doors and windows, pull out weapons, and start killing all the Frisians who had no idea it was coming. And I would imagine that Hildebert stands over her husband's bleeding out body and finally delivers the final death blow, saying, "Take that for killing my son, you son of a gun." And then they take all the Frisian treasure, put it in their boats, and sail back to Denmark. Happy ending. Very, very gory, very bloody scene. Very Game of Thrones type stuff. Hope you enjoyed the story, and stay tuned for my next video.